are seats in the front, so no shame. Sit in the front.
Yeah, sure. He's still working. Welcoming people. It's just that I was trying to get you.
Good, yeah, good. You've already been here. Hard. No.
It was good. A lot of stuff.
A lot of a range of like first year.
It's a range. It's first year to third year, but one of my classes is like 26.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got a 30.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for that show. I was kind of surprised by how different of the amplify my voice like 3 times.
Yeah. Are you like in a bigger lecture hall?
Yeah, for that one, the one.
Grab your food. We're going to get started with the program.
Oh, that's all right. They took him to 5.
Come.
Perfect. Good to see you. Yeah. I got this guy, my managing director, Mr. Tennis Man.
You want to get started pretty soon.
Oh, I got Tracy. Yeah. more time for practice.
All right, aloha. Aloha.
Okay, we'll go.
Wow. This is the biggest crowd we've seen thus far, and that is exciting. I want to welcome you back for our second year of Kuleana and Community Talks Story. We made it to the second year. And I'd like to thank some of the sponsors who made this happen. It takes a lot of work to coordinate speakers, events like this. And so we'd like to thank the Chancellor's Office, the Center for Global Exchange and Education, Kipuka, and Kilohana for all the work that we put into making this happen for this whole semester. What better way to start off a robust slate of speakers this semester to have the mayor himself present about Kuleana in practice. And so he really needs no introduction, but let me give you a brief introduction for the mayor. Mayor Alameda, before being elected mayor, was the CEO of Bay Clinic, was on the task force for fentanyl, and is a licensed psychologist. He cares deeply about the culture and deeply about ohana, or community. And today, I think we're going to see that in what he presents about Kuleana in practice. So without any further ado, I want to welcome Mayor Kimo Alameda.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow. What a privilege and an honor to be back here. This is where I took all my summer classes. So people ask, how you finish so fast your BA? Did it in 3 years. That's because, I wasn't sure if I was going to get my final scholarship this one at Hawaii Pacific University, which was Hawaii Loa back then. So just in case, I took 6 credits in the summer, 18 credits, 18 credits. My advisor thought I was crazy. I probably was, but I finished in 3 years. And then I got my master's in 2, and then I got my doctorate in 4. And so by the time I finally got my PhD, I was in the 28th grade. So, yeah. So I see a lot of familiar faces. And first and foremost, I'd like to introduce my managing director, Bill Brahante. Bill, thank you so much. And so, yeah, it is true. I mean, my career path has led me to this position as your mayor. And it's, the building blocks has always been Kuleana. So I'll talk a little bit about, probably talk about maybe about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes about Kuleana, and then my thoughts on how you can help me in this big responsibility, and then maybe the last 20 minutes, just open it up for questions and like that. So how I think of Kuleana, Hawaiians, I mean, typically it's responsibility, but it's also connection. It's another term is ownership. It can be also looked at that way too, like Kuleana lands, for example. But for the most part, I think it's obligation. So if I had to pick a word, I would say my Kuleana is kind of like my obligation. That's my calling. And so how do I make sure that I'm imparting my Kuleana, right, this big job that I have, to you folks? Well, first, I think there's some steps. First, I got to make sure that I don't think I'm the center of the universe. So one, I got to believe that there is a God. There is somebody more powerful than myself that has a way to make things happen and has a way to keep me humble. And so my family, I'm a man of faith. It's important because at times of trouble or discord or, when the Hawaiians say kaumaha, when that weight is heavy on my shoulders, I have something to reach out to. And so that's like layer 1, if you will. Layer 2 is my family. But even before that is me as an example. Because I think who we are is more important than what we say. So I'm using words today, but if my words are not backed by my actions, then my words is meaningless. And so for me, I always try to make sure that I be the best example I can be with the many hats I wear, right? So as a father, and my late wife as a husband, then as a member of the community, now as a boss in the office. And so I have some life rules. One is I don't ask my staff to do anything I'm not willing to do myself. Okay, and I don't ask my kids to do anything I'm not willing to do myself. And so that in itself will force me to be an example. So I kind of say, you better stop dropping F-bombs, and I'm using F-bombs, you know what I mean? Or, you guys better stop smoking, so, right? So being an example to me is critical. And then, it's hard to do it by myself, so that's why I think I have sisters, two siblings, right? Good friends to remind me, like, oh, maybe you shouldn't go that way, or maybe you shouldn't say that, so because again, especially at this role, people watching and they're observing. So my Kuleana. So first is like faith, and then it's like being a good example, and then family, right? So I have 7 children. It's like the first 2 was practice. That's why. So. The next 5, I got them down. So why you had so much kids? I tell them I needed practice, but and they're all different. So I got 4 boys and 3 girls, and so in my life I try to. So having goals is like people say, oh, how do you get motivated, and how do you motivate others? There's one key thing I think you got to have goals. Like goals is like the essence of motivation, right? If you don't have any goals, then there's nothing to be motivated for. So everything in life is goals: personal goals, work goals, spiritual goals, physical goals. So we'll need goals. So like my goals as far as my career, I maxed out. I've overachieved. I remember when I'm getting my master's degree. My professor said, hey, Kimo, this is like an assignment, like dream big. I was like, okay, so I like dream big. So he said, go write down everything you like be, and everything you want in life. Like, you can even start off with material things. So, okay, like a brand new Tacoma truck, number 1, because Tacomas is still kind of popular. Number 2, I like living in a nice big house, in Hilo. 3, I wanna be married. I want cute wife, all the way down my list, right? I have 6 kids, because I came from a family of 6, so I felt good. So then, I turned in my paper. Hey, next week, because we met once a week, right? And so he gives it back to me, and he goes, oh no, you're not dreaming big enough. Hey, when I said you to dream, I got to dream big. I was like, oh man, how much big? Okay, so. Because I never put brand new Toyota Tacoma, I put used, yeah? So, okay, next time. So I was trying to be realistic, you know what I mean? Okay, so I said, okay, brand new Toyota Tacoma. Okay, and then he said, you got to be specific, because your goals got to be specific. So I said, okay. So he said, you like one house. Well, how big your house? I said, okay, well, how about, because I was raised in a house that was 2,000 square feet. And he said, well, dream big. Okay, I like them 4,000 square feet. Okay, and so, kids, 6, yeah, perfect. You want to get, and then I was getting my master's, so I got my master's degree. He said, that's all you like? I was like, well, what else is there? There's a PhD. Okay, I'll be on doctor then. And then what else? And he kept pushing me. I said, do you want, and he wrote a book. This professor, he had a couple books actually. And I was kind of joking, oh, I like to write a book too. And he's like, no, write them down, that's you want to write a book. And then I was like, okay, I'm on a roll now. Okay, I like being on TV host. But at the time, had this guy Geraldo, and when I had mustache, they said I looked like him, so I was like, I like being Geraldo Rivera, okay? I know younger guys don't remember, but, so I like being a TV host, and it was like unreal, this list of goals and aspirations, and I was like, and then he said, so that's how, how much money you like make? I was like, make 80,000. And I was like, nah, forget that, 6 figures. Because that's how we used to talk back then. I just like make 6 figures. All right, so, okay, 100,000, okay, and so finally, and then he said, okay, good. Now, that's how you dream. And he said, keep that, keep that paper. And so I kept it until most recently I lost it, but I kept it for like, I don't know, over 25 years. And I always go back to that. because I've accomplished everything. Like all of that has come to pass. You know, and I even overachieved. Instead of 6, I got 7. You know, and I became a doctor, and I worked hard at, you know, at my job. I live in Sunrise Ridge, get a little cul-de-sac. I get in Tacoma, brand new. You know, yeah. I wrote a book. It's my dissertation. It's published in the Library of Congress. I've been a TV host. I was a TV host for Naleo and my own show, Rise Above Hawaii, and this other show, Health is Everywhere. And I never wrote down I wanted to be the mayor. So that's just extra bonus. And so that's the one thing I share with my kids is that never stop dreaming, never stop. Because if you can see it, then you can be it. But too many times kids cannot see themselves in these positions or with these experiences because they don't have that self-worth. They don't think they're worthy enough for that type of excellence. And let me be the first to tell you, you are all worthy. Like, you are all unique. There's nobody else before you or after you going to ever be like you. Like, you're so special. You know, and that's amazing. Can you just think about that little? I mean, there's nobody ever going to be like you in the past, in the future. That's why I think you're perfect. So I told my kids, you guys perfect. Yeah, I get things I like you achieve this and that, but as far as your perfection, you're perfect. Oh, Dad, I get so much things I got to work. No, but you're like the sky. Like, you don't look up at the sky and say, the sky's not perfect. That's the only sky we got. Of course it's perfect. Sometimes get clouds and sometimes get rain, but it doesn't change its perfection. Just like you. Once you all can realize that you are a perfect person, then you can work on some of your goals without feeling that you're not worthy of achieving anything you want. Of course, you get barriers, social barriers, but we can work at overcoming those too. So part of my Kuleana as your mayor is not just to get things done, because we're getting a lot of things done, I realize. You know, like, I mean, just today's paper was in the front page. Bill and I. And yesterday was 2 days ago, we was talking about Banyan Drive. We want to clean that area up. I'm asking the state, please give it to the county. I think we can do a better job. Right, just like what we did with Mauna Kea. Right, those bathrooms, that was all state. The Kino administration took it over and it's beautiful. It's probably one of the nice restrooms in the state. Okay, so give us Banyan Drive. Let that be our goal. Let us fix that place up. You know. Yesterday we was at a blessing for in Honoka'a. We turned a convent into 10 homes for elderly people experiencing homelessness. You know, the 2 days before that, we blessed a house. A family needed a house. A teacher at Hilo High School having a hard time make ends meet. We have this program. We partner with this private agency and the county, and we're able to subsidize some of the costs, and they were able to move in. So as your mayor, I feel like my Kuleana is getting things done like that. But also my Kuleana is to impart inspiration, is to let the community know that nothing is impossible. In fact, I believe that the impossible, or you know, if there's a problem, like the tough problems, I think we can fix immediately. The impossible just takes us a little bit longer. Okay, but right, and so my Kuleana is to impart inspiration, and with that also comes with positivity. So I'm super positive, and because life there's a lot of negativity. Just put on, you know, turn on the news and you'll see it. But if you want to reach your goals, you got to fill yourself with optimism and hang out with people who believe in you. Your goals is their goals. And so now with my kids, they say, oh, Kimo, what is your goals? I say, my goals is to help my kids reach their goals and to help my community be better and to help everybody I connect with be a better person. I've reached I feel like I've reached my goals, my personal goals. Now my goal is you. You know, and that's why it's so important for you to have goals. So this is where your Kuleana now is shifting. So your Kuleana in helping my Kuleana is keep to your goals. And no matter how old you guys, okay, looking at people who kind of like my age, okay, we can have goals still. So I have some physical goals. Okay, I like lose weight. I have this mayor's challenge. Every Friday I post, right? So we have a little competition I'm trying to do just to make it easy. You know, push-ups, my age. So I'm 56, so I got to do 56 push-ups. Not all at one time, but within 24 hours. Okay, so that's strength. I do 56 squats. That's full balance. Stretch, touch my toes without bending my knees. After that, something else. 30 minutes cardio. And then for me, it's eat less. For you, might just be eat right. Okay, but those 5 areas, that's all. And I already lost 8 pounds. And my team, everybody's jazzed up about being healthy. So that's part of my Kuleana to you too. But this idea of having goals, and you deserve to reach all of those goals because you're the only person in this universe like you. And when you reach your goals and everybody collectively become better as a person, we become better as a community, and then we become better as an island, and that's how it plays out. Because you cannot be a good worker or a good coach or a good, employee or a good student without being a good person first. Yeah. So that's my little take on life, my life philosophy. If there's negativity, there's always negativity. I spend just little time and little energy absorbing it. I take the thing that I can learn from it, and I spin it. And so I'm a professional lemonade maker. I take all the lemons and I just make lemonade all the time and get different flavors even. So I'm also a silver lining specialist because I look for the silver lining in everything and I make that big. And because people need positivity, especially now. And I learned from the kupuna, because when I was working at the Office of Aging, there was this kupuna. Hey, she had only 3 strands of hair. And I go, oh, Auntie, you only get 3 strands of hair. She said, that's okay, I can make braid. Hey, 2 weeks later, she only get 2 strands of hair. I said, Auntie, poor thing, now you only get 2 strands. She goes, that's okay, I can make middle comb. Finally, she only get 1 strand. Auntie, you only get 1 strand of hair. She said, that's okay, I can make ponytail. And then she never have hair. She said, thank goodness I'm not gonna mess with my hair anymore. So, yeah, so stay positive. I think we get the best county in the state. I'll put our municipality amongst any others in the nation. Every morning I drive around Hilo, I just love the beauty. At Kona, same thing. Honoka'aka'u. We get the best island. We get the best people. We honor diversity. We're proud to say the word inclusion. Yes. We're proud to say the word, diversity and equity. We're not ashamed of that. In fact, that's what makes us strong. I mean, just look around, right? That makes us who we are. This beautiful rainbow of ethnicities, of philosophies, of ideas, and the idea that we don't always got to have the same perspective on things. I mean, with so much different people with different perspectives. We have this ongoing meeting with Auntie Pua Case and her following. It's called the Huli Pack, and they're very protective of Mauna Kea and Po'akoloa and very protective of, the environment. And so here I am as mayor. I'm Native Hawaiian too, so how do I balance? So I'm always looking for a balance. And they're beautiful people. There's wonderful people. I don't see anybody as an adversary. I think everybody loves this place just as much as I love this place. And maybe parents can relate to this if you have children, right, between you and your partner. Like, you love your kids the same, but you might have different ideas on how to raise them. But that don't mean you love them less. You love them the same. I love this island the same as anybody else who's trying to protect it. I want to protect it too. But we cannot enjoy the beauty of this island if we're living in Arizona, or if we're living in Texas, or if we're not living on the island. So I got to figure out a way to help us economically to live here while enjoying the natural resources and the beauty that this island bestows on us. And so that's my challenge. I embrace it. I know that's my role as your mayor, and so far I think I'm doing a pretty good job. Because the people that I disagree with, we still hug, and I still feel good feelings, and I can say I love you, and they can say I love you too. And I think at the end of the day, that's what the Aloha spirit is. The ability to connect and love each other despite our differences, whether it's ethnicity or philosophy or way of life. And so with that, before I turn it over to you guys for questions, let me just say I love you. I love all of you. And if you don't hear it enough, you hear it from your mayor. And I work hard every day for you. All right? And I say that on behalf of the county. Thank you very much. Amen. So what I'll do is maybe ask my facilitator if you like go around, and if you guys got questions, I got answers. That's my
why don't
job.
we give him another round of applause?
Oh,
So typically we would break into groups and have questions, but get plenty of people today. So we're just going to do Q&A.
how about one lane? We just go like this first row, and then we'll just keep going back and see if we can get to the end. Anybody in this first row? A thought, a question, a comment, something you wonder about? Yes, sir.
Wonderful story, and I love it about the goals.
Yeah.
And it's a perfect way to start with this group. You are working with the whole island, and this is Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
You know, so it's the start of Labor Day weekend coming up, and I'm just concerned about the workers and some of them whose papers aren't perfect.
Yeah, for sure.
And,
Yeah.
And if you're feeling like it makes some news that this might be a time for an official statement in support of all of Hawaiian's workers.
Yeah.
And letting the federal government, please don't overreach here.
I know.
Like the Illinois.
Yes, we're doing fine on the islands. Thank you very much. We don't need you guys overreach. Right? By the way, we're all immigrants, most of us. I mean, even the native Hawaiians sailed here from Marquesas or South Pacific. So in that sense, right? So yeah, true story. And that's why I'm a firm believer of home rule. You know, like if we need help, we can ask. If we don't need help, we're fine. And we're fine. I mean, our immigrant population, they contribute a lot to our coffee farms, our farms in general, hotel industry. I mean, talk about workers. I mean, and they work hard, you know, and we love them, bottom line. So I'm with you. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. How about this second row? Yes, go.
Thank you for coming and talking to us today. I have a question about what are your hopes and dreams for the future of our local leaders, like our next generation?
Yeah.
How do you feel about the next generation, and kind of like what are your hopes for their future?
Yeah, my hopes is the first hope is to not lose that sense of hope. So to stay optimistic. I fear that the next generation are getting a little bit jaded, right? Because we have a federal government that might not align with how you were raised even. And you might be thinking, shucks, maybe I should move to Canada or something. No! Stay in Hawaii, we're going to be okay. All right, so one, keep the optimism. Okay, we need your positive energy because as your mentors, we get down too. And sometimes we think like, shucks, maybe no more chance. Or maybe this is too hard. And then we see somebody like you, and you, right? Who start to look at us and say, Uncle, no give up. Get chance. Yeah, just stay optimistic. We'll be okay.
How's it?
All right, questions, thoughts?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the county has a lot to do with shortfalls,
Yeah.
things that happen, right? So can you explain a little bit more for a lot of them, the public-private partnerships?
Yeah, for sure.
Right, because there's people that still want to help,
Yeah.
and I've seen it around, but people may not know about it. And we
Yeah.
have a lot of student athletes here,
Oh.
volunteering, and I
Yep.
want to get them into the parks.
Yeah.
Do things like that.
So we have something called Friends of the Park. And we can have friends of anything, I realize now. So my managing director is an attorney. He worked for Corp Counsel. That's like all the attorneys, and he also is HR. So like that's the perfect combination of what we can and cannot do. And so we have friends can be friends of the park, friends of a project, and that allows us without any union, because the union's gonna be like, hey, you can't be taking my job. They're just friends of the park, you know. So we could use them in a way that could really help us, because we're short in a lot of areas, and so volunteerism is big for us. We have we call our office, and our Parks and Recreation Director would love to meet with you folks. And when we do have projects, we should put it out there. Like we're looking for volunteers, and the university can be our first go-to. But yeah, government cannot do everything by itself. So that's why we partner with the private industry. That's why this house that we were able to purchase for this family, it was a partnership with the nonprofits. And that's why we gotta support businesses. County gotta make it easy for business communities to be successful. And that's why that's why I wanna take the permits out. You know, so now we're like at 200 days faster than the previous administration, and that's by moving things around a little bit, answering phone calls, changing some protocols, following up, you know. So right now we're at our peak of permitting getting out fast. But we also have to return calls in other areas. So we have a lot of work to do, and when we meet with our cabinet, I'm always encouraging them to make sure customer service is number one, take care of our businesses. So, very good. Working my way down. Yes, go, next one.
Yeah, so we just came in a new faculty orientation last week, and it was great to see a couple local Hilo, born and raised faculty coming back home. And in my case, I wasn't born and raised here, but I get family over here, and fifth generation to live in Hilo, and before that, Li'i. So just wondering what kind of specific initiatives or ideas for specific initiatives you get for bringing Kama'aina and Native Hawaiians back home.
Yeah, so, well, first the biggest incentive is make Hawaii cheaper, make Hawaii affordable, make Hawaii where it's livable. Unfortunately, we're a capitalistic society, so our economic development's critical. And so that would create incentive. And so we're working on that. But I'm also trying to convince the locals that, you know, sometimes family and this beautiful place, you know, we may have to sacrifice some of the desires that we have in terms of the size house we like, the type of car we like. You know, like we might have to give up some of our own, you know, likes in kind of like in exchange for being here. And so that's my pitch to some nieces and nephews and family that's living in Vegas. But I think the biggest incentive is affordability. Yeah, good questions. Okay. Oh, go.
Just wanted to say mahalo for your mana'o. And in regards to the banyan trees, like wanting for the county to take control of that, like what does that look like to make it safer?
Yeah, so we finally met with the state on Monday. That's why that was a news article. And we said, like, could we trim it? Like, could we get in there and start working on it? You know, that's because Banyan Drive is all state, right? And they lease it out to the hotels. But we own the road. So then I was talking to my attorney, managing director, and he looked at the documents and he said, oh, since we own the road, that means we got to take care of 50 feet this side and 50 feet that side. So once I heard that, I went down Banyan Drive and started measuring 50 feet. 50 feet that side. That's the banyan trees, bro! Yes! We're in our legal rights to trim it. Some cut down, like the one right across Vernus. That it already fell. There's people experiencing homeless in there. It's dangerous. I don't want that other situation to happen. And so our first order of business is to cut that down. Who's ever a tree trimmer, you're going to be making so much money. And if you're not in tree trimming, you should get into it. Because that tree right there, at least $100,000 just to cut them down. Amazing. Don't all quit school now. But okay, go, sir.
Thank you for coming to speak today.
Yeah.
I had a question of curiosity about, like, how does the county keep track and help aid like the homeless population?
Yeah, so we have a point-in-time count every year that gives us a baseline of how much homeless. But what's happening is there's so much homeless coming into our county, like every day. So for every one person we house, 2 more ends up on the streets. And one of them is coming, and one of them is experiencing homelessness because they cannot afford rent. And it's just cheaper to live on the streets. At least they can eat and get other needs met. So that problem not going to go away. So I talked to the other mayors, same thing. But our island, this is the catch-22. We're the island for the homeless because we treat them with compassion. I just expanded Salvation Army. You come down Puna, Hawaii, you know, there was 25 cots. I added another 25. Now they get 50 cots. So I've worked with the community police officers. We get on team now, and now the police officers can say, because you cannot do relocations. We used to call them sweeps. I never liked that term because it implies rubbish. It's just human beings. Okay, you cannot do relocation without some place to relocate him to. So our administration said, we're not doing any relocations until we find some place. Does it make sense? We found Salvation Army. We doubled their capacity. Now our police officers can go out and say, hey, no sense put up your tent, okay? Because you get some place for sleep now, right? And so they open up at 6 o'clock at night, and everybody got to go out 6 o'clock in the morning because we want them to go out. But at least that decreases all the tents that's being popped up. Now that's the visibly homeless. Now you get homeless sleeping in their cars, okay? So that's another segment of homelessness. Then you get homeless people sleeping outside of anywhere, but not visibly. So we don't know where they are. So it's like and you get people almost going to be homeless, right? The foster child who's aging out of the system. The domestic violence situation who just want to get out of that house for fear of their life. The veteran, right, who's not getting the help they need. The person who just got out of jail, that now the family is abandoning them. Like, we got to pay attention to the almost homeless too. I'm with you on that. So go, any questions coming down? How about next room, up there? Working my way. Yes, sir, go.
How about homeless cats? Are you going to exclude
Oh, no. That was the hardest decision I had to make.
Are you going to exclude them from Bill 51?
Yeah. So I just said I have a animal task force, and a woman, her name's Sylvia. She's my cat advocate. You know, and she's yeah, we had some real heart-to-heart discussions on that one. So she said, you gotta veto the bill, you know, because we gotta feed the cats. You can't just let them starve. The other animals, they can find food and everything like that, but these cats, they're domestic. Like, they're not just gonna find, you know, mice and survive. They're gonna die, and that's gonna be worse. And I feel that. But there's a county council, you know, and I veto the bill. I feel like they're just gonna override it. So the best I could do is just not sign it to make a statement.
Yeah.
And what I can also do is increase the spade and the neutering and the, you know, so I took some staff, actually I sent some staff to Lanai. They have a cat sanctuary. It's 700 cats. They get donations like $1 million a year. They love their cats. They take care of their cats. It's a more humane way of responding to the cat situation. And I want that for this island, not just Hilo, but Kona, Ka'u, and Waimea.
Well, if you stand up to them against the council, that's great because that's who you are.
Yeah.
And you can't just do stuff as a council.
Right, true.
So I admire that.
Okay. You got me. Yes,
You
sir.
You mentioned the need for economic development
Yeah.
in Hawai'i Island, and I'm just curious, what are some ideas what do you see as what's going to grow our economy?
Yeah, right there, the school. We need to increase enrollment. And I just love that our administration is on the same page. Thank you so much, Chancellor. Yeah. Yes. And you know, and that's the same goal, so we're in alignment. Yeah, because we need to be a college campus. There's an advisor I have back there. He used to own Uncle Mikey's. It was a get-together place for college students. See, all the professors were, yeah, when I was in school, we went to Uncle Mikey's. So, you know,
GPA went down.
Yeah. Hey, enrollment went up, GPA went down. No, just kidding. No, but county, what we can do, we got to make Hilo vibrant again. We got to improve Banyan Drive. We got to, we got to make it where we got to partner with our sports programs. get our community to get involved in their booster clubs. Just bring attention to this university. That's, of course, that's one way. And then expand on all those professions. Oceanography, let's be the capital of oceanography, man. We got volcanology, let's go for it. Let's be the mecca of volcanology. Hawaiian studies, yes, why not? We got Imiloa and the partnership. We can do things. We just got to get behind it and have enough people to believe in it. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for being here, and I appreciated your message about setting goals.
Yeah.
So perhaps you could share your vision or goals about transportation infrastructure in the area. We have a lot of people who work here on campus or in Hilo who commute every day from Puna, and we have a lot of time to think about things. Wondering, what's the plan to make this better? So
I know.
your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I know. So one, we're not going to, because there was a proposal to charge, right? And so I'm not going to, I think that I would veto. Because we don't want to do anything to deter people from using our public transportation, our bus system, our paratransit. Okay, that's number one. Number two is I circled the island, and we get so much play. I counted over 25 bus stops that we need to fix or need to erect. So we have a bus stop problem too. So that's on our agenda. We have to. There's a few places where we can increase our routes. I feel like there's some places where maybe we can decrease the route, or we could add like a paratransit or kind of like a bus hub, where you could park there and then these vans can go and take to the off streets. So we met. So we did, funny you mentioned, because we interviewed for the public for the transportation director yesterday, and we made a selection because it was vacant. And so now we have a person. I don't know if he found out today or maybe next week, Tuesday is going to find out, but he's going to be our director, and now I feel like we can move forward, because the transportation department cannot move on its goals if there's nobody to lead it. So we are right there. Thank you for mentioning that. That's important to us. Okay, well, I kind of come back now, so once, okay, back there. How about back there? Yes, way back there, go.
Yeah, I guess your long-term goals in terms of energy sustainability, I know like wind has to be kind of shown right now.
Yeah.
But like good potential in the sector, obviously geothermal.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah, so go back to my discussions with all my Hawaiian environmentalist friends, right? So, no, it doesn't seem like they have a problem with solar. So solar is a happy medium. So, solar panel, big island, all over the place. Except, to me, that's desecration too, though, at some point. Just drive down Waikoloa Drive. Look to your left, and you'd be like, wow, solar panels for days. When that could be beautiful, I don't know, pasture land or reforestation. So too much of anything is not good. So then we should balance it out. So then we got hydrology, with getting energy from the ocean. We're doing that too. But ultimately, the best for our island would be geothermal. Except there are concerns. There's cultural concerns. So when they say, Kimo, you support geothermal? I say, yeah, but right now, not in Puna. I mean, if you find some other place, that there's no development, and somehow there's energy that it can be used, to decrease our use on fossil fuels, yes. So we are exploring. Right now, there's a group that's going around and looking at the New Zealand model and seeing how we could benefit our county. So yeah, so I'm open to all of it. There is a goal to be, what do you call, off of fossil fuels by 2045. So I don't think we should be totally off of it, because even HELCO will tell you they need some of it as backup. So remember this. This is one thing I've learned. For every solution, there's a problem. Yep. Every solution has a problem. And so what I've learned to figure out is that we pick the problems that we can live with, and that's our solution, right? So if we're going to go totally, out of fossil fuels, there could be costs with that, like literal costs. There's folks that say, hey, Kimo, stop spraying the Roundup all over Hilo. Too much, poison. I'm like, okay, but we don't have enough workers to cut the grass. So then the grass going to be like one hazard. So like when you drive a volcano, you can't even see the mile markers anymore. It goes from 12 to like all of a sudden 20 because they're all covered by grass. And then, you know, the weed whacker, that emits fossil fuels too. So every solution has a problem. So if you give me one solution, make sure you've identified all the problems and the solutions for those problems. And then we can talk. Some more, back there. Okay, one more time. Yes, sir, go.
Your personal goals.
Yeah, back to my personal goals. Yes, go. I don't know about governor. Yeah, I feel like I've reached my career goals. I think personal might be physical, just because, you know, my kids are getting worried. They say, Dad, you fat. There's all those lunches. Stop inviting me to lunch. You see this? I purposely did not eat today just because of that. No, so I think for me it's more like physical, just trying to stay healthy. I think that's my goals. I mean, politically, I want to make sure that I give you guys the 4, because I only got 4 years, yeah? So I give you the 4 best years I can give you. Me, my team, you know, we have a great team. You know, and if you guys think I'm doing a good job, then maybe I give you another 4. But I know I got 4, and I know I can do a lot with 4, because in the past 8 months, I feel like we've done more than these prior administrations did in the past 8 years. Just right like that. Because of our team. I just connect the dots. I'm a pretty good coach. I know how to pick the players. I know where to put them. And then just let chemistry take over after that. Okay, we're going to go right down here. Go.
What do you think is the most important or influential project currently being worked on in the mayor's office?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the most important project right now is our wastewater treatment facilities. Because we all got to use bathroom. And we all got to flush the toilet. And that got to go someplace. Okay, so then, and that's not sexy. That's the problem, right? So that's like very unsexy initiative. You know, like I don't want to be known as the Alameda, you know, treatment facility. You know, it's like I want to park or something. You know, yeah. He was good. He took care of all the shit. So it's like, but sorry to say, that's the primary initiative right now. It's a shitty job, but somebody's got to do it. No, this is good. No, I mean, so that is key, because without that, we cannot have housing. So it's wastewater and then water. So we got to find more wells, because then that leads to housing. And then housing, more housing, bigger supply, you know, will lower the prices. So now that's affordability. You know, affordability then gets to my ultimate goal is keeping you here. I don't want you to leave. I want you to stay on this beautiful island. But it's going to start way back there. So,
could you talk on the 2045 plan and that the council's reviewing and trying to update?
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a community development plan that the county created, but the state created a regional plan. So actually, so what I told the state folks is, hey, you guys should, like we should be aligned. Because you cannot get some things done without county permits, and we cannot get some things done without state permits. So right now, so that's my push. But on I made some revisions. I asked the county council to revisit the 2045 plan. First of all, I don't think it should be 2045. I think it should be 2035. Because I don't want a plan that takes us 20 years. I want a plan that takes us 10 years, because things change so quickly. You know, so that's one suggestion. The other suggestion is I don't want the plan to be so specific. I mean, that current plan, they got like who's responsible for what, and you know, some action steps, and like that's not a general plan. That's a specific plan. So get it a little bit more back to it being general. So it gives us flexibility. So that's where I'm at with that plan. Oh yeah, go ahead.
What is your Manao on the crime rates and how do we solve the crime rates on the island?
Yeah, so, you know, quick thing, that police officer got shot on Maui, and we had our own issues not too long ago, like 6 months ago, and
Kimo,
yeah, it's bad.
Before you said officer, which officer?
The woman on Oahu. On Maui. Yeah, the woman on Maui. Yeah, that was the most recent shooting. So we do have criminal activity. But I think that's just a consequence of the disconnect in community. You know, I mean, when people feel disconnected and disenfranchised, and maybe mental health needs not getting met because there's not services, or there's so much stress because of trying to make ends meet, They might lead to drinking, and then that might lead to drugs, and now people get bills they gotta pay, and so now they maybe start gambling, and now they're just in a downward spiral, and my belief is that all people are good. Like, all people are good. I mean, there's life experiences, haves, have-nots, and feeling unworthy, and the disconnect with community. I think that can lead to behaviors that are against our laws of the land. And so, so that's why I believe that hurt kids hurt kids. And that's why I chose psychology as my profession. I felt like I needed to help families and help kids to be okay with who they are, even the life circumstances that they came out of, like they're okay still yet. Because if not, then hurt kids are going to hurt kids, hurt communities. So, yeah.
Kimo.
Yes, sir.
What are your hobbies?
Oh, thank you. I'll end with that. Oh, okay, I gotta go one more. Okay, go. What was your question? I answered to what will be yours?
Yes, sir. I feel that we're veterans at the school system have been underrepresented.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like we have such a small space upstairs, and even at Hawai'i Community College, we don't have any veterans club. I was wondering.
Yeah. Oh man, we could talk about that all day. So I'm a big veterans advocate. In fact, my two veterans advisors are right in the back, Micah and Keoke. And they're there to, they advocated for a space here. And then we're going to take a look, because I've never seen it. And I'm so happy that our chancellor and our administration allowed for that space. Because first you need a space, right? And 20,000, over 20,000 veterans on this island already, right? And you guys fought for our country. You risked your life for us. The least we can do is love you back. And so that's what we're doing. So the county usually don't get involved with veterans. That's like, they'll say, oh, that's the feds or that's the state. But I believe that you as our citizens, you don't care if it's federal, state, or county. You just want the service. Exactly. And so if I got to step up as your mayor to provide that advocacy, I will. And I did. And it's there. And so with the community college, yeah, we can take a look at that too. So I got you. Now I end with my hobbies. All righty. So I love people. I'm addicted to people. Okay? So it's gonna sound kind of crazy, but I feel like my work is my play now. Like this has become so important to me, and so it's like I don't know the right word, but it's like I really enjoy what I'm doing. I feel like I like me, my team, like all you folks, like we can make a difference, and we are making a difference, and that feels so good. So that's bad, because people engage in hobbies because they need to fill their cup. Well, my cup is being filled by doing this work. Okay, and then of course my other hobby is just try to stay in shape. Try to stay in shape, try to stay healthy so I can keep doing what I'm doing, and that is service to you. So again, on behalf of the county, our Kuleana is big, but yours likewise. Just continue to achieve your goals. Make sure if you got to write them down. But don't ever give up on your goals. If you need inspiration, hang out with somebody who's positive. Okay, and if they're funny, pay them extra. Right on. Well, thank you for the day. Enjoy the rest of the day. Aloha.
Wow, what a way to start off the Kuleana Top Story series. Some housekeeping. There's going to be a QR code here for surveys. We would love your feedback. This helps us to think about speakers in the future, or how do we better the event and whatnot. Next week, like I said, we have a robust slate of speakers. Next week we have Elena Kabatu from the Hilo Benioff Medical Center to talk about the connection the hospital has to the community and to the university as well. So we hope you can make it to next week's Kuleana community. Mahalo everybody, have a great long weekend, take care.
Doing